wanted to ask you about Snarked.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit about it.
So Snarked again was another book I worked on very early in my career. So Roger Langridge had pitched this book to Boom, and we picked it up. So originally we had an all ages imprint called Boom Kids.
That's pre-Kaboom.
That's pre-Kaboom. So we started with Disney stuff. Don't believe we did any creator-owned stuff through that. And then when we, long story short, that experiment did not go super well. At that time, no one was publishing kids comics. And we were like, we believe in this next generation of readers. We need to be putting out kids comics. First foray was not super hot. So, we took a beat, rebranded, sort of rethought our approach. And this was one of the launch books to come out through Kaboom. And it was the first creator-owned book to do with Roger. And it was just so much fun, It's Lewis Carroll with Roger's twist on it and doing all this fun stuff, and it was pretty incredible that for our first creator-owned book through the imprint, it ended up winning an Eisner Award.
Wow.
And it was a lot of fun. I mean, it was 12 issues. Like I still can't believe that we did 12 issues of this book, but it was really really fun to work on. And Roger's just an incredible talent. I always tell people I think he's one of the most underappreciated cartoonists out there. But
when it comes to talking about Eisners and being about that, what does an Eisner mean to you and to your testament and your work that you've seen in? Because Boom is constantly in there in the conversation for being nominated for Harveys and nominated for Eisners. And
yeah, I mean it's a badge of pride. Like that's the big one in the industry. So, it's so silly, but like being nominated really is awesome and sometimes even more rewarding, although I don't think people necessarily would see it that way, than winning, just because the process of being nominated is so much different than the process of winning. When you're nominated, it's a very small group of judges who are culling through this material and choosing what gets put on that ballot, as opposed to the whole industry who, can be voting for friends or voting for what they actually think is the best book, or maybe didn't read anything, but they're just clicking a box or whatever. So it's a very interesting process in that regard. But it definitely, as an editor, as a creator, even as anyone at the publisher, when you get an Eisner nomination, it just adds an extra layer of validity to all the sweat equity that you put into something. If you're in operations and you busted your ass to get this shipment in on time or something and had to do something, and you see that book win or get nominated for an Eisner, you're just like, man, I was a part of that. That feels really good.